Hey there, Andrew. Welcome back to the stream. As I recollect, you were last with us a week ago, and I promised you a stream on Saturday, and now I feel pretty bad about it because that didn't wind up happening. I've been away from streaming for almost the whole week now. Unfortunately, I got put in the hospital on Saturday morning. I had to get carried away by the paramedics in an ambulance and everything. So that was a no-go. Hospital internet is not very good for streaming, ignoring the fact that I don't think they'd let me anyway. Never mind considerations like transporting a rig. On top of all that, it would have been a poor idea. You mostly would have just heard me screaming senselessly in pain. So, glad that's through. Glad to be back to doing this again. Hey, Devin Norton. Welcome to the stream. I'm not sure I've seen you around before. So I was actually not sure why I was in the hospital initially. I just kind of starting Friday night, I had this weird tingling in my leg and it just got worse and worse and worse. And I didn't sleep at all that night. Cause by a sensible bedtime, it was already kind of painful and that made it hard to sleep. No. Nothing like that. Unfortunately, it seems like what happened is that, my ligaments that connect the top bone in your leg, the really big one, I think it's called the femur. The ligaments that connect that to my pelvis got stretched out. And, this is kind of not that weird for me. I have a connective tissue disorder, so a lot of my body parts are abnormally, the clubbing bone, that one. A lot of my body parts are abnormally stretchy, like in kind of weird, inhuman ways. Like my skin is very elastic and everything. So anyway, that got stretched out, and then when it snapped back into place, apparently a nerve got pinched in between those two bones. So it was real painful, and it just kept getting more and more painful, and by Saturday morning, I was just non-stop shrieking. Couldn't do much else. Yeah. So at that point, I just had to call 911. Actually, our roommate did it for me. So that was made for a very brutal weekend. And the recovery's been kind of slow. There's not a lot that they could do for me besides administer painkillers and tell me to use an ice pack for dealing with tissue inflammation and just let it heal slowly. So it has been a real painful several days. Oh, thanks, Devin. Oh my goodness, I just realized your username, Devin Norton. I think I know you. I think I know a fellow exactly by the name Devin Norton, and I assume that you have been truthful in your Twitch username. That also tells me which Caleb you're referring to. So yeah, definitely been really rough. This is annoying that this queue is taking so long today. Oh well. Never, okay. Sure thing. That is a mighty coincidence, Devin Norton. So, are you a Terra Mystica player then? Because that is what I'm queuing up for today, and most days on stream. Who indeed would use their real name on Twitch? I wonder. At least I didn't put my last name in. Okay, so, explaining this game in a, You can believe that as long as you like, Devin. Just kind of giving a brief overview of what happens in this game. It's kind of like the Fantasy Kingdom passive-aggressive zone control gardening simulator. Where you just kind of aggressively terraform spaces at each other and try to occupy the largest contiguous area. And there's a lot of managing economic factors and whatnot. But kind of the most unique thing about the game is that at setup time, an objective is randomized for every round, and then every time you complete that objective within the round that it's attached to, you score some number of points for it. And so it kind of, you have to route these weird build orders on the fly to accommodate doing the things that will score you points. It keeps it quite varied. I mean, there's also 14 races to play and lots of other stuff mixing it up, but that's kind of the most unique thing, is that it's your actual build order that generates the bulk of your points. And so that's Illusion, I am not dead. I promise I'm not just a vampire streaming from beyond the grave. And yeah, Andrew, no one could crack the code. It seems impossible. I really wish this would hurry up. It's first day back, I don't want to be waiting 20 minutes just to get in the game. You played Gaia Project today. Huh. I would not have anticipated that the average person could just go play such a lengthy board game in the middle of a Thursday, but if it works for you, then sure. Glad you got the opportunity to do it. It's definitely an interesting game. By the way, I know that you handed me the rules for Gaia Project, and I immediately turned around and told you that I thought, just from reading the manual alone, the Terran and the Itar seemed overpowered. And then you consulted with your friend who has many plays who said that this was not the case. But I have gone and checked on that online site that has an implementation of Gaia Project. And I don't know what to tell you. It's an awful lot of Terran and Itar winning. I watched a sample of 13 games, and I think 11 of them had Terran and Itar. No, 12 of them had Terran and Itar players. And in all 12 of them, it was one of those two factions that won. So you're a little on thin ice with that claim. Kiseki, you can certainly queue if you want to. You do you. I'm not averse to battling my users on stream. This has come up a number of times. Yeah, okay, I won't shoot the messenger. Sorry, Illusion. Devin, that's, passive-aggressive is the style of game that you like? Is interesting. I can think of a couple games that go well with that. But yeah, Terra Mystica definitely sort of fits passive-aggressive. Because it's an area control game like Risk style or something, except that you can't actually fight anyone. You just kind of aggressively get in each other's way. Huh, that's interesting. You actually don't like playing this game with the Landscapes expansion, then. That's, I mean, by all means, play it the way that you enjoy, but that's surprising to me. I think most people really like that expansion. It's, I don't know, it doesn't mess with the game in terrifically many undesirable ways. Really, the only complaint I've ever heard about it is that it's, extra rules to memorize because every single unique faction landscape is, they're all different. I'm misreading you? Okay. Well, you're welcome to clarify what you meant. Or not. Your call. Yeah, thanks, Devin. Thanks for dropping in. Have fun with the box fort. I hope you don't get attacked by box pirates. It's always a danger when you build a fort. Or raiders of some variety. Oh, interesting. You're telling me that the landscapes are disabled this season. So they actually went and changed the format on me, those jerks. Is there anything else different I ought to know about? Huh. Yeah, okay. I definitely misread you. Sounds like we are much in agreement that there is very little objectionable about that expansion. Yeah, it would be especially annoying to pick fakirs without being told that the landscapes didn't exist. That would be the number one way to get punished. Illusion? Could happen. Like, if we're being honest, the Chaos Portal is relatively weak as far as landscapes go. So, doesn't hurt the Chaos Magicians that much. The faction that really eats the brunt of that is certainly Fakirs is the most impacted. Then who's second? Probably Mermaids, then Giants. Alchemists may well be fourth. Yeah, yeah, sheesh. Warps the swarmlings, too. Yeah, this seems pretty messed up. I guess I'm just gonna have to reconsider this, because it's definitely not the same interesting grind without the landscapes. It's like a surprising number of these factions are, have a lot of reason to be unhappy. Oh my gosh, and someone goes straight for no landscape fakirs. You would have to pay me so many points to play no landscape fakirs. I don't even know how many. Yes, I am so glad. Thank you for tuning in to stream. Thank you for letting me know. So, for those who missed it, I think Illusion popped in and thought I might be dead. Just to clarify, so yeah, I'm not dead. I was just hospitalized on Saturday morning. So streaming was definitely a no-go. Okay, let's see. Darklings, Engineers, they can both play without their landscapes. Darklings more so than Engineers, probably? I was like, try to think about what other faction would I want to insert here. I haven't even really taken a look at this board yet. Okay, so we do have the Priest card, we have a lot of the high-scoring money cards. But what we don't have access to is extra workers from these cards. It's very troublesome to get those. So that... There's no spade scoring, so I'm not going to look to something like halflings. Town scoring in round 4 is a tricky one, because you really want to capitalize on it twice. Scoring it twice in round 4 is not necessarily totally trivial. Let's see, the bonus card that's most notable that's missing is the free spade one. It's going to put a little more pressure on the power digging actions, for sure. Though less so because Darklings are in. Let's see, this looks like... So this definitely looks like the opposite of a Chaos Magician's game. Sorry about that, Illusion. Just because they would have 2 color neighbors and be as unable to dig through the center region as possible, basically. Presumably starts will occur here and here, so like they're left with very little room to go without shipping around here. And they could even get cut off in making it to here by Fakir's carpet flying first. So, very no to the Chaos Magicians. Perhaps since all the coin cards are in and the scoring for shipping is also available, it might be reasonable to just entertain mermaids as last. Certainly no coral reef is a big bust, but I would like to have some compensation for not getting the Darklings if other people bid them over the top aggressively. Could also be reasonable to chuck in the Cultists here. Cultists usually not that happy about seeing this round scoring objective because it's the only one they don't cheese with their passive power. But, Yeah, no, I'll go ahead and just mix in the mermaids here. Or, yeah, no, mermaids it is. Get in there, mermaids. Alright, let's see how this goes. The bird folk? Yikes. Okay, sorry, I don't even know which one looks like a bird. I mostly remember them by the names because I read the manual, which does not have a lot of pictures. Okay, yeah, good to know. Okay, so Itar is the white one. One of the white ones. This is an interesting take. Someone jumped on engineers before the Darklings, but... I mean, one point in engineers' favor, certainly, is that there's temple scoring on the first round, and they're one of the best factions to try and reap that twice. But making an engineer start that's comfy is going to be tricksome here. Really, the engineer start that you want to hope for is a dwelling and 2 temples. That is very tricky to make happen if you're not getting either the spade bonus card or the worker and 3 power. You can do it with this one. It's probably possible actually with the cult boost and 4 coin card. If there's going to be a lot more contest on engineers than Darklings, I will be quite happy with that. Really no objections. In particular... Yeah, this looks like a color matchup that may actually work well for the Darkling split start, is a possibility here. We'll see how that goes. If engineers and Darklings get bid down way too far, then we'll just look to mermaids. There's not really anything particularly strong for mermaids on this setup other than the bonus tiles being in their favor. They like having the 2 coin sources and the points for the shipping. Those are all things they love, but nothing about this setup is especially great for them. I guess the color matchup has the nicety that Fakirs can maybe leech them a little bit of power through this pair of spaces early. One detraction from the Darklings on this board is that there's no, there's virtually 0 chance of getting the center town position as Darklings, where you build a sanctuary in here and try to take some town setup surrounding this start point. Like, it may well be the correct starting point for Darklings on the basis that it leeches a lot of power. But actually making a town out of it is going to be kind of a no-go. Yes, well, mermaids are, you know, they have fabulous hair, and I can't argue with that. They have several fabulous body parts. I have a feeling the thing that many people are looking at in this image is not the hair. Now let's start to think about bonus cards and which one we expect to go to which faction. So if I wind up on mermaids in this situation, then I think I'm most looking to start on just the 6 coin tile. There's some temptation to 4 coins and a cult step, but in the end, I don't think it hits any important early benchmarks to get that cult step. It's probably not even going to cross any notable power thresholds in the early game, so it won't pay off until like rounds 3 or 5 to have had that cult step, which, it's something. It's definitely something, but 2 coins right from the start may well wind up being a little more favorable. Anyhow, that's the tile I would expect mermaids to take. Darkling's presumably about to start on the priest. Then engineers would probably look to just pick up the 1 worker, even if that's all it gives them. Engineers definitely have some worker problems in the very, very early game. And what do they need to make their optimal start? They need to secure a spade, a worker, and 3 coins beyond what they naturally start with. So this goes the most towards doing that in terms of power saved for the other actions. And somehow we got a taker for Fakirs when the other factions were only 17, 17, 26. Like, that's somewhat incredible to me. If we take a look down the Snellman stats, I think we would find that this is quite favorable for us. And finally, without the landscapes available, this is going to improve in accuracy. Whoosh. Okay, never mind. Snellman thinks this is Huh. I don't buy it at all. Okay, so where do we want to start here? I think this placement definitely seems favorable. Whether the mermaids go here or not, I don't think the mermaids will have a particularly strong desire for this position after we take this one. But either way, we still want it. We're happy to cut through in this direction instead, if that's what need occur. Then we can kind of wait and see what lines up on the eastern continent. If stuff lines up on the eastern continent. Like, it would be very normal for engineers to pick one of these starting placements. Okay, so we didn't actually get any intel about which of these we want. So, it's... Let's see. Connection is certainly going to be a challenge this game. You're not going to rule out the possibility, but it may or may not happen. This is one advantage of playing with the Darklings. So, let's see. Where am I looking to go here? I definitely think I want one of these spots just from a standpoint of connecting the most, or having the most spots available to myself. Probably I want the top one, is my guess, and the rationale on that is that engineers are reasonably likely to start here, and if they do, I want them to have to build past me, rather than away from me. This is just a little bit more power that way. Let's see. I guess here doesn't seem great. The Fakirs will surely cut this space right away. Which already just diminishes the attractiveness of this so much when we can only dig over this way. And then engineers will probably have these locked out quickly enough. Not that we could even come up this way. Right? This is a triple dig for us. That's too expensive in the early game, even if it's free later. So yeah, let's go ahead and grab this one and see what happens. A nice thing about the way setup has fallen here is that we pretty much have free reign to come down to this bottom part in the mid-game or even slightly later. It doesn't necessarily set us up for a connection or anything like that. It just gives us enough area to build a third town if we decide to head that route. I will be sad, Illusion. Definitely sad if you're taking off now, but also, what kind of hypocrite could honestly say that it's not a great opportunity to go play a live game? So, enjoy yourself. Kaseki, I have watched that guide, certainly. I think the starting placements are, most of what he recommends is pretty good. But the important thing, if you pay attention to that guy, is that you need to really listen to his reasons on when he lists out all the starts. Because I think he has this mapping of if these factions are in, start this way. And just this stringent set of rules you could choose to follow. And I think it's a big mistake to actually try and do it. I think he kind of slips up in that table of rules a bit. But the actual reasons he lays out for why you would want any of the starts, those are very valuable. Pay attention to those. And then just kind of like look at how things are going to play out and interpret on that basis. Okay, well, we know where Fakirs are upgrading because they only have one choice. It's right here. So, I guess we know that we're absorbing some power here. We'll wait and see what the engineers choose to do. Like, I would hope they choose the east side one, but they're probably not gonna... So if they choose here, they help the mermaids out some. Not just from the power leech, but it means the mermaids can upgrade their first temple here because this center position is where they want their sanctuary to wind up ultimately. There we go. Whereas if they lend us power on this side, the engineers actually help us less. Because either way, we're still gonna upgrade, like, it doesn't matter where we put the sanctuary, we have the flexibility to put it on either side regardless. But honestly, once you take away the mermaid's coral reef at this point discrepancies, I think it makes perfect sense to help out the mermaids a little bit more than the darklings. This is a very reasonable action. Is that even true? Are the engineers fat? Like, I think there's no real evidence for this. Yes, please, give me that power. So will Fakirs start on... Oh, Fakirs are starting on Earth 1. So actually that's something for us to be very happy about, because we are in position to claim an Earth 1, which means that, since we can claim the Earth 1, that means mermaids can't have it. And it is statistically the best favor for mermaids by a decent chunk. And then the other thing that's really happy on that is that it's actually statistically a really bad favor for the Fakirs. Statistically, the Fakirs basically bomb every game that they don't open on one of Fire 1 or Air 2 as income favors. Anyway, we'll go ahead and cut away that Earth 1 favor now. Gotta get that temple for those 4 points. Not to mention this sucker. So we have some pretty good options for what we do for the rest of this turn. No one else has a priest yet, or can have a priest in time to focus on us hunting down any of the cults. Like, investing priests may be really, really good when this is the cult reward, is basically the idea there. We could get paid so many coins and have so much cult positioning. We could even set ourselves up for positioning, like, for capitalizing on these bonuses later. Trading a priest for a dig is not a good trade for the Darklings, for the somewhat obvious reason that that they could trade a priest for a dig anyway and get 2 points out of the deal. But when we trade the priest for a little bit of power, some coins, points at end of game, and then also a dig later, that starts to be hugely favorable. Hugely. Now, we are the Darklings, so we do need to count out because we need to be building our sanctuary on round 2. I mean, I guess we don't need to, since it scores on round 3, but it's, statistically, that is usually the thing to be doing as Darklings, is get your sanctuary out literally as fast as possible every game. You'd almost just disregard the round scoring for it. Yeah. Like, if you think about the trade-offs involved, we get an extra priest for building it around sooner, and then we get an extra round worth of incomes from it, from the associated favor, and the priest, not only does it make a dig or a worker for us somehow, but it also gives us, it does us the wonderful courtesy of just giving us 2 of the points earlier to offset the 5. So it's like very reasonable for us to build the sanctuary 1 round early, even though it kind of looks weird on the surface of things. So, how to play this? If we go for the sanctuary next round, let's see, we will be short quite a lot of workers, and that's no good. So we can take the worker power action now, and then we can actually start building dwellings with it in order to ensure that we get refunded those workers too. And that's going to result in us being much shorter on coins for the next round, but we can probably find some way to make that up and compensate. In particular, I'm very interested in digging down this way, just so that fakirs can be raced out to this brown space. It would not be happy for us if fakirs took all 3 of these, just because it's it's not the end of the world, it's just 1 extra dig to connect around here. And if you can cut someone off so freely, why not do it? I guess we could also dig here just to, well, we can't do either one yet. This is definitely how we're starting on this. A lot of good lines, and they all start with that. Yeah, starving engineers definitely has some merit to it. If the board looked a little differently, I would consider starving them. After they make the opening of placing here blind with no neighbors, you can actually do murder to the engineers by just not refusing to be next to them at all. Like, I'll start over here or up here or something. It's kind of a wild way to play with the no east start as Darklings, but it actually can work out pretty well. Okay, engineers did get their 2 temples. Fair enough, they do get 8 points for that after all. But they are just gonna have to check out without building the extra dwelling. I mean, I guess they could take the spade power action and then also make a worker? No, they can't do that. They're short 2 power for it, and I'm not about to give it to them, though maybe mermaids will. Wouldn't be too weird if mermaids chose to. Mostly being slow here is good because we want to take one of the bonus cards that the engineers and mermaids are on. Okay, so engineers basically done for the round unless they choose to dig a space, and any of the spots they dig, which are here, here, and here, not going to be impacted by us digging this way. So we sort of missed out on leeching the power from the upgrade here by digging down there, which means definitely we're interested in racing to this point next. Is there any reason to go really, really slow and dig it without building? I think probably not. 2 actions should be enough to outlast. Looks like mermaids probably just have 1 building a temple. Yeah. So let's go ahead and just build it right now. Whew. Okay, so we could entertain not building a dwelling now, and it would be a pretty reasonable course of action. So if we pass, we do go up to 4 workers. That's enough for upgrading our sanctuary. And the coins, we're still... I mean, I guess we are still 5 short coins-wise. Still have intention to make that up on a bonus card. Oh, right, of course, the engineers do have another action because they have to use the tile itself. And they push themselves on Earth, so that's not going to pay off for quite a while here. The real reason I'm contemplating whether I want to build the last dwelling or not is it's pretty straightforwardly that if I can get paid so much for taking this priest and jamming it right here on water. Meets both of these cult rewards, it's worth a power, it's worth 2 coins. And in the end, I think that may actually wind up being more valuable than having the extra dwelling down. It also makes it so there's really no way that we miss out on having the coins for the sanctuary upgrade. There's definitely some niceties there. The worry, of course, is that it punishes us 2 workers in the long run. One for not income that we don't take the next round, and then one the round after. Because, we'll have enough workers by exact count. So, but I think it's probably... It seems likely to me that it's worth it. Mermaids they took a water 1 as their opening favor. That seems like a terrific mistake to me. Like, just colossal. Alright, let's go ahead and get that priest in. Get in there, boy. Ooh, I love this song. Okay, mermaids are checking out. And then engineers probably... Actually, engineers might desire to use a power action here while they have free reign on it. Would not be weird. As an example, they have the capability to... Yeah, okay, they can do that and then invest the priest. Or, alternatively, they could have dug and built and made a dwelling. That would have worked for them too. Either way, we've set ourselves, a certain way, and now we're not going to be able to dig an extra one for the next round. So we'll just pass and take all the coins, because we need coins so unbearably badly. Right, Kaseki, I think you berated me about this before, that the priests may in fact be priestesses, and I wasn't checking under the robes. And I'm still not gonna. I don't know what makes me confident that that particular priest was a girl. Or a boy, when I said get in there, boy. But let's get in the habit of alternating. That seems like good practice. There has, of course, historically been some amount of controversy about whether women can make priests. And, I'm not gonna weigh in on that. Other than to share that my mom is an ordained minister. So, there's some details. Okay, what even? I mean, I guess that is a thing you can choose to do, Fakirs, if you really want to. Go for it. Carpet fly here instead of there. That's a big mistake. Like, it is so much more profitable for the fakirs to carpet fly to this tile, because then they can, they have access, and they build there, and then they can build all of these on the same round, like so many spaces, and they just didn't. Like, this doesn't even really hurt us very much. We'll just play in the other direction now. Because we have quite a lot of time to do what we need to over here. Like, it's not like the fakirs are about to triple dig this forest space. It's one extra dig for us, and we're the Darklings, so we're gonna have redundant digs later. Now, we only have 2 actual things to do this round. So, and that would be invest the priest in the cults and build the sanctuary. So let's do those things in the useful order. We're gonna invest the priest first. Get in there, girl. I mean, Kaseki, I know why they did it. They were overly paranoid that they wouldn't have access to 3 spaces in here for a town. And like, yep, that's truth. You wouldn't have. But I think this actually hurts them even more. I really do believe that. It just cuts them off of one space that they could have had to build here. They could have been, this round, they could have been building here and here instead of this one, and then upgrade a trading post on one of these. And that actually sets them up pretty well for the longer game. They build the sanctuary on, the stronghold on round 3 to upgrade their carpet flight range, and then they just, start carpet flying at range 3 to places for the rest of their builds. Yes, I'm definitely aware why they did it. Okay, let's, do the thing. The thing I said I would do. Go, gadget sanctuary. And as for choices here, there can really only be one that's sensible. So we will make it. Well, is that true? Yeah, it's true. I have no interest in taking a favor other than Fire 1 there. The second most tempting is Water 2. Actually has a little bit of merit to it. But the way to do that would have been to invest a priest on water. And then use water, grab Water 2 and be at rank 8 to receive 2 free spades. But I don't think it's worth going that hard on the cult. Alright, so we're doing the Darkling thing. And it seems reasonable to suppose we could be set up to cash 2 towns on round 4. I think that's very plausible here. Certainly getting the one on the left side is essentially free. That's gonna happen regardless. Now, we're not taking a lot of resources for income yet, besides priests, but we've set ourselves up well for the longer game. So I'm not overly worried about this. Mermaids bridging, yeah, okay, I mean, I guess mermaids do actually need a bridge to do their weirdo town now. Because they can't use the coral reef. In this spot, I think what makes me the happiest by quite a lot is actually just passing here. There's nothing else really that interesting to do unless I wanted to take this priest, but I don't. I'd rather have free reign to take whatever power action first the next turn. I guess I'm not taking any power as income. So let's think about bonus cards and how that affects that. So currently there are 2 open bonus cards that are tempting. One is this 4 money and a point for every dwelling I build. I could make a lot of dwellings next round if I really wanted to. The priest and 1 coin also has some merit. That would let me have access to all 4 of these tiles for the next round. Because it's 4 digs to get these hexes, and I get 1 from the cult reward, and then these 2 are already naturally black. But what would I have resource-wise? I would only be on 7 money, so I couldn't build all 5 spaces anyhow. Barring, well, I would be short 2 workers and 3 coins to do that. I guess I could I can certainly make up the money with this power action. The question is, where did the extra workers come from? I think in the end it's just infeasible to try and have that many. Could we build 4 tiles? Still a little challenging with our big worker shortage. So probably what's for the best for us here is to it's surely about building as many dwellings as possible next round. Given that in all of these calculations for reasonable courses of actions, it's workers that come up short. So if we're building dwellings anyway, we can easily be at 4, maybe 5. So this would seem to score a good chunk better than the priest. And we're not going to be priest limited over the course of this game, nearly so much as we are limited on other assets. So let's pass now while the tile's still available. Looks like our big focus this game is just going to be generating raw points and ignoring end-of-game scoring considerations for the most part. Already, connection is looking like incredibly shaky. Which is sort of how we drew it up from the outset, right? Where it's not like that's surprising or objectionable to us. Also, can't believe we got 4 coins on this card. It's like, it's not that weird for it to hit 3 coins, but it's also not super frequent. This is usually one of the most sought bonus tiles. We got it for 4. Anyway, we're going to be on 8 coins and 3 workers once the incomes come in. So, where does that situate us? That's not quite 4 dwellings. It is a worker short. Also, 4 dwellings would require us to, we would need an extra priest to have space for that many dwellings. Well, that's not true, actually. We could just dig all down here and ignore this. Yeah, okay. Maybe that's the play. Because we have 3 digs for the next round. 2 from our priest income and 1 from the cult reward. So if all 3 digs got distributed over on the east side, then we could have 4 spaces on which to construct. The 3 that we terraform, and also this one here. So then the resulting shortage is workers. We just need one extra. We may well be skipping out on this stronghold bonus on round 5 also. This is just, the Darkling stronghold is pretty bad. The main attraction of the Darkling stronghold was access to the camp. And now we don't have that. Okay, I can use a spade, and I guess we know that we want to turn this one over here. Okay, we are first off, we can lead with whatever power action, and I think what we want is, it's gotta be the workers so we can actually build all these dwellings. It's a little crummy to not be taking this one, the super slot power action, but we gotta get ourselves off the ground. And even cutting this from other people is not that attractive. When you take a look at circumstances here, everyone has a pretty good balance of workers to coins. We're very happy to burn a lot of power tokens as Darklings. No objections to that at all. Because all we need to take are these couple for the rest of the game. We have no interest in any other power action ever again. So 5 is a pretty healthy number when you... Like, usually kind of the healthy number of power tokens to have in your bowl is one more than the highest power action you anticipate taking. Because it's a little limiting to be capping at exactly the number you need and being unable to accept power for a full rotation of actions. You know, chat is really quiet without that illusion fellow. Usually I'd be getting heckled to, I don't know, something, you didn't pick Chaos Magicians, Titania. Be interesting to see what other people do power action-wise. Definitely there wasn't going to be a ton of interest in this one from other people. Maybe the mermaids, actually, after they built a stronghold, would plausibly have wanted that. I mean, Kaseki, it could be the case. I can't really rule it out. It's happened lots and lots of times before. Okay, Fakir's coming around to an income favor way late. Super duper late. Also, they don't have enough to build Stronghold this round when it pays points and when it actually gives them carpet flight access to the places they'd want to go. So I think that's a very sketchy line from them. I don't really know about building this second temple. Ha, smirk, Kaseki. Yes, I know that you've done that before. Okay, so what to do? I mean, we have all the resources to build 5 dwellings. We just don't actually have enough spaces to put 5 dwellings. So I think very reasonable for us to just start building these suckers. It is a dwelling scoring round for us, at least. We're taking 3 points a dwelling effectively while we're on this bonus tile. Alright, lots of other people are making their push on the air cult. We don't really have any interest in attacking that reward. You know, it doesn't synergize with our starting cult placements or our favors. It's just spending a priest for that is really far out of our way when using the one power action has, like, we fixed all our worker problems for the whole game. We're throwing down so many dwellings this round that we just all of a sudden don't care about receiving bonus workers, really. What's going to be limiting factor for the remainder of the game will be coin count. Hard to say what... So as the mermaids here, where am I interested in trying to found towns? Like, obviously this one's set up already, and that's gonna be the pick for the mermaids. And clearly they're gonna have one in here plus one other space. They can take it here, here, here. Lots of options. But then they'll be looking at where to find town number 3 as a natural extension of what to do with their last 2 rounds. And I guess maybe I sort of imagine they would try to do it up here. The space is relatively vacant and it's not too many terraforms for them. Just a total of 4. The big problem with choosing here is they can count on not having neighbors. I guess they could potentially have a neighbor here in engineers. Alright, well, they've made the call. We can see very evidently where they're choosing to do that. Clearly it's going to be one town with these 3 because they don't have any easy places to extend off of this one other than connecting to this town. So this can't have been for any other purpose. And then they did dig this one, so they'll look to finish this out, one assumes. Engineers finally making the move up this way. They do not have the temporary shipping, nor have they upgraded their shipping. Like, if they had shipping, it would give them access to this space. And they'll want it shortly, obviously, because they're going to intend to take all of these. May as well dig around here. It's definitely working in our favor that everybody else can only get digs through these. So they're all competing on them, and then we just don't have to. That's sort of the ideal state when you have all 3 of the other factions competing for power action digs, and you don't have to. Either that, or you want to be like one of 2 factions fighting for these while 2 other factions don't have to. I mean, even ideally, just one faction gaining free reign on these, but that's kind of a pipe dream. Doesn't really happen. Ooh, love this song too. Sticker Brush Symphony. See, I think this game, the fakirs are playing is gonna hurt them a ton. What they really wanted was to spread out more and that gives them a lot of workers because they've built a lot of dwellings, and then they can supplement all that worker income with all the easy coins from the bonus cards. But they've taken the other route where they build up and they get like priests and coins and stuff as income. And then they need workers to do things, but they can't get them from the bonus cards. There's only one that offers a single worker this game. It's about as low as that can realistically go. Oh, someone just took an air one. Oh, mermaids. Okay. This person really does not believe in income favors to have gone water one on turn 1. And then air one now. Okay. Engineers grabbing a priest. Huh. We're really seeing some heavy cult engineers this game. I mean, I think what we're going to see from engineers is presumably they're about to upgrade their shipping and then build this tile. But that still leaves them 4 coins, 2 priests, so maybe they'll look to get in there on the air track and really win it hard by inserting priests this round, and then they can get paid a gazillion workers for the cult reward. I assume that's the line that they're headed towards, but we will see. Now we have a choice of where we want to put the last dwelling that we can build for the round. And what I like doing here, I think I like this hex, because it allows me with some shipping, I can connect either up here for the top or down here on the bottom. It just stays very flexible. And honestly, there's no real reason to pick any hex over any other, except that A, like how we connect to future hexes off of this island, and B, if we want to try and deny power from the engineers, because we have given them a ton this round, at a very favorable rate of just paying 1 point each time for 2 power. It's been a pretty big boon for them. I guess we could also choose over here, because on a smaller number of shipping, that gives us access to some rando hexes to build up here. But if we're just looking at random hexes to construct, I think we have quite a lot of them available otherwise. Returned from Hades. Yeah, something like that, deluxe. That may be a slight exaggeration. I was in the hospital. It would not be completely insane to describe that as the underworld. Blah. Okay. Trying to think, what will we need to town up in the next round? If we want to town over here, we'll need dwelling, trading post. And then towning over here is probably 2 trading post upgrades. Or actually a more reasonable way to do it is just dwelling, and then on this end, trading post and then temple for fire 2. That's the way we can hit this bonus twice. So, how many resources is that? That's 6 workers in total. And then coins, I count... Oof, a lot of coins. 12? That is many coins. So, workers, what will we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, plus the 1 residual. And we'll be 2 up on workers. Coins, we will be 7 short. Yikes. Well, that works out pretty conveniently if we take one of the coin cards then. Actually, that's no real problem. So we can make that transpire. Deluxe, I know you're always at me for taking fire 2 a lot, but I really do think it's a good favor here. I'm not super interested in water 1 favor this game. Oh goodness, I need to Yeah, build the damn thing. Not super interested in a water 1 favor when there's no trading post scoring in rounds later than... I guess it was on round 2, but that's not really a trading post position anyone can milk it. Taking a fire 2 favor does leave us in a position where we're like somewhat obligated to move on to a 3rd town. Maybe not super obligated, but it's not using the favor to its fullest potential really without. Alright, so engineers did go down the line I suggested, where they just spammed priests in the air cult, and then they'll presumably still upgrade shipping and build over here. Because I am about to pass for a bonus. Let's see, which bonus do I want? It's possible that 4 coins cult step is better than 6 coins. No, I think it's... I still think it's 6 coins. The cult step is not gonna meet any rewards for really any... It's really just oriented towards end of game scoring, and I think the 2 coins now I would happily pay out. Like, this is gonna make probably at most 2 points difference. I would take that exchange this early in the game. Also, really, really good sign when you're playing Darklings and you're tied on points with people coming out of round 3. That's huge. Just because, you have to bid down lower than everyone. Oh, goodness. Okay. Well, they found an interesting line. That works. You do you, engineers. I mean, I guess I get some water 1 favor. Now we really have to fight if we want this water 1. We'd be racing fakirs for it, and we're probably not going to win that race. Not that I'm super concerned about winning it. Silver River, starting VPs. I actually recorded them over here. So Darklings and Engineers both went at 17, Mermaids for 26, and Fakirs for 30. Now, before you judge that, pause and remember that for some odd reason, BGA got rid of the landscapes in arena mode. So that is actually a notable nerf to the Mermaids. Their coral reef was definitely one of the stronger ones. So I'm feeling super duper good about getting things at those prices. I think the one that's the farthest from reasonable is surely Fakirs at 30 is no kind of compensation, I think. For if you don't have the flight school, the Fakirs are just awful. Yeah, I mean, not that Fakirs weren't unpopular even with it. They were not good with their flight school. They were just, playable. You felt like your faction could do something. And there was some interesting math involved in exchanging priests on for 2 coins by doing carpet flights kind of in unnecessary sequencing. There were some interesting things going on, but no longer. Alright, bonus tiles people took. Everyone else is on a scoring tile. Sure. I mean, that's what we're gonna want for the rest of the game. But I'm pretty happy to just get my 2 towns this round. So, I want to get the first town as ASAP. And the rationale is that if I do that, I just get a higher pick on which town tiles are available to me. So to the end of doing that, I'm 2 moves from a town. if I start and get this one first. So that will be the one that I get first. I think I want to pay as few points for my power as possible. So I guess I'm not... Well, I could look to upgrade this one so that when engineers come here, I get more later. But I do pay more points. And it's not clear how soon engineers are coming here. Probably this round. It probably makes sense to make this the upgrade site. I'll go ahead and do that. And engineers have infinity power. Engineers can now double dig these two sites if they like. I assume that's something that we're gonna see. I'm surprised Fakirs haven't carpet flown over to this hex yet. This hex is actually a pretty big game. Because it makes engineers much easier to connect if they can dig it. And if Fakirs have it, it makes it much easier for them to connect everywhere. Because kind of typical Fakir strategy is get your carpet flight range upgraded, and then just fly wildly everywhere. And if you miss this hex, then you actually can't do that without upgrading twice or doing some extra digs or some other really lame nonsense that you probably don't want to do. Whereas if you get it, then you can fly to all three of these sites pretty easy. Well, I guess this one gets flown from over here. So it lets you go both directions here easily. Huh. Alright, there is still no player that can found a town in one move. Which means that we will get the first town founding, and that's pretty great. We can take everyone's celebrated favorite town tile. That will actually power cap us exactly to take it. But we can't really get out of that by converting down, because then we reduce the maximum amount of power we can hold. Take a favorite tile. Oh, wait, actually, Crumb, we have... Because I forgot about power from crossing this threshold, because we also have a favor coming. So that means that this is too much power. But we can take the favor first, and then convert. And now, if we found the town, we get 2, 2, and 2. Yeah, 6 power, which is the amount we can store. So we will go ahead and grab that. So conversions are possible here. I guess the question is, yeah, it seems like engineers would make a move in there. So we have reasonable expectation of receiving power, so I will convert a little bit, just to avoid being capped. Also, because we need a couple extra coins anyway, just to finish out our planned round. Wait, is that true? Oh, I seem to have missed... No, yeah, it's fine. Okay. Did I miscount the coins? I thought I was gonna need to convert one to make it happen. But it looks like I had enough to do without... Oh, whatever. So this is why we did the conversion. We'll pay a point for 2 power. Sure. Engineers also making good on fire, too. If you say so, engineers. Now, what we need to do in this round 5 is get rid of as many dwellings as is humanly possible. Because we want to build as many as we can in round 6. And we are going to have so many of them down at the end of this round. So many. Really happy we got to that town tile first, though. Okay, so do we want to convert again? I think we do. Because we're going to have 2 workers and 3 coins. And 1 coin left over without. And this... So we were probably going to want to convert up to trading post money is at the end of the round is basically what I'm getting at. Yeah. Let's go ahead and grab this one. Is this right? Yes. Yeah. Okay. Gosh, we just make so many points for everything we do. I guess that's Darklings for you. It's also nice that now we're taking 3 priests around. Very useful. This just lets us mill more points, like milling priests into points, using our faction power. We do have to be a little careful with 2 priests invested on the cult, just making sure we don't get priest capped. That is actually going to be a thing we care about heading into the late game. Okay, engineers build their bridge. Which town did they take? Engineers took a coin town. Okay. Yeah, that's fair enough on their resource count. So they did just get... Usually engineers are much shorter on workers than anything else. But it makes perfect sense for them because they just took a bazillion workers from a cult reward. So they need some coins to counterbalance that. Now, Fakirs have the opportunity to upgrade carpet flight range, finally. Because they've founded their first town. And they didn't do it, which is actually kind of ridiculous. I think that is definitely a mistake. Now, we have to contemplate what are we interested in as a second town. 1 step on every cult does have some sense to it. It means mermaids have to do something or we're tied on air, which is the cult we ignored, and we might even, we at least make them spend effort to get out of giving us scraps. Sorry, planning for Stronghold next round? I think a lot of factions are planning for Stronghold next round, so I'm not actually sure exactly who you're talking about. Like, it makes a lot of sense that the mermaids would procure it, and I guess maybe the Fakirs, you're saying that's why they didn't? Yeah. Okay, I got there just before you said it, because... yeah, they did not pick the upgraded range town, which is somewhat incredible. Mermaids finally upped their shipping to 2. That makes sense. They're on the points for shipping tile. We definitely want to build this. The question here is, do we want to snap this power action first? It is an option. And the other option is... the other question is which town tile to take. There's actually a lot of good rationale in us taking a shipping town. just because we're gonna need shipping to build Town 3. We're well situated to build Town 3 with this dumb favor. I don't know. Building Town 3 is a little awkward if we strand a trading post here, I guess. Actually, trying to get the third town does limit a lot how many points we can capitalize on this, because we'll have to alternate dwellings and trading posts due to dwelling cap. So that's actually probably not even something we're interested in doing. So if we're not getting the third town, then I think it's an easy cult step for 1. How much power does that grant us? 1, 2, 3. Okay. Give me that coin. And there we go. All set. Yeah, the queue's been really slow today, Silver River, but glad you finally got one. Oh, what good crumb. Okay, gotta make a few moves quickly. Pick up some time again, because I didn't notice it was waiting on me. We did just receive 1 power for free here. That's pretty nice. We definitely have to upgrade a trading post, again in the name of freeing up as many dwellings as possible for the final realm. And because we'll want to get paid more, it's money as income in preference to the workers. But we can't even... Again, we can't even take the power income from having the trading post. So that might bode in favor of snapping up this here. Oh my goodness, we get 2 free spades off of this now. Well, that's something. Alright. Trading house. Okay. May have been a mistake to convert the coin. It might have been better to use power for this priest, but I think we actually do a little better spending our power to grab the coins action next round if we can, since it's looking like we could plausibly be first to pass here. We'll see. Also really amazing that we have all this call value coming and we haven't even we've only invested 2 priests. Where are mermaids? Okay, mermaids also throwing in a priest. That's fair enough. Okay, we can be first to pass here, and then that lets us... Crap, we don't want to be first to pass. Well, that gives us too much reason to take this, because we want one of these scoring bonus cards, for sure, whichever one we can get. It's too high value not to, so I have a priest. Now I feel bad about converting that 1 power to a coin when I could have done it this way before. We gotta try and wait out these actions so that we can score on these tiles. Now the one of these we prefer is probably the engineer's bonus tile, but we'll take any of them at this point, if we're being honest. Okay, mermaid's passing, but onto which card? It's probably this one here, so I guess that means we're going to wind up with the shipping scoring as our next action. Which is... I don't know. It's weird, but I guess we... Okay, now we're upgrading our shipping. Because that is how it be. Unless... Well, we could try to stall one more move to get the engineer's card in preference. So in the name of doing that, we may just invest the priest right now, because if we don't, mermaids have a very easy pass on us. But, yeah, we want this last priest spot is worth quite a lot of value here. We're gonna have to start disposing of our priests as much, like, we won't be able to put priests on cult spaces, unfortunately. Because we're gonna be taking 3 around, and we only have 4 left in supply. So we're gonna have to be really careful juggling our priests to make sure we actually get all of them. The engineer's bridging. Do the engineers... Oh, the engineers can actually just bridge a 3rd time to make another town. Also, engineers have 5 favors, which is kind of like, what? You don't see that too often. I guess their incomes are not great. Okay. So we will take this, I guess. I'm not happy about it, but it scores things or something. Is it better to get the extra priest? It might be. That's 2 points. But I think probably we want 1 shipping anyhow. Well, no, we really don't. Because again, shipping across over here, it makes us upgrade too many trading posts in the wrong... Yeah, we have to build too many dwellings and then we can't dump them on this ground. So I think I would prefer to just have access to... I'll have 1, 2, 3, 4 spots that I can build dwellings on the final round. I can use this as an extra one. It's 5. If I can actually build that many dwellings on the last round by getting rid of enough buildings here, I mean, that would involve upgrading all of these to trading posts. So yeah, let's do it that way. So then, that would mean I don't want to upgrade or use the shipping bonus tile. I'm probably more interested, since I wouldn't want to upgrade shipping. I should be more interested in grabbing this card. Unfortunate that we didn't get one of the better scoring bonus tiles, but if I'd thought a little harder, I might have been able to predict that's how the chips would fall on that. If we're upgrading trading posts anyhow this round, we could plausibly make this a temple first. Yeah, that seems very reasonable. Just so we can procure a water 1 favor is why, and then upgrade as many trading posts as possible. And it also spits out 1 extra priest on the last round, and we'll just take random spaces over here. We're not going to get any shipping this game. We will be content to lose network. Dicey as that sounds. Really sad now that I tried to stall on actions, because I didn't actually get one of these, so it was really stupid in the end. So if I hadn't stalled, I could have been at full power to start the next round and first to pass and just snapped up this. Love the money. Oh, Fakir's trying to terraform through here. I'm not gonna fight that at all. Okay, I use some spades. Let's transform this one. And this one. Because I am completely unambitious when it comes to getting another town. Smirk. Alright, not a lot of money here. Maybe a reason not to try building the temple. Alright, that helps. That gave us 1 point of power, which may well just wind up being a coin for us in this round. Love this video game. This isn't one of my favorite songs from it. But it's a great game. Banjo-Kazooie. Hoi! Okay, money snapped up by mermaids. So what that does let us do against these filthy mermaids is make sure they don't do anything crazy to beat us on the water cult. Because I think the plan that I favor here is going and getting the temple and taking the final water 1 favor, just so that when we upgrade trading posts for the rest of the round, we are paid points for it. And on top of that, it wins the water call for us. It's like a 2-for-1. Very convenient. Now we just have to upgrade trading posts as much as we can so that we actually are able to have as many free dwellings as possible for the last round. This is also an extra priest for the last round, which is just worth 2 points. Something to be happy about too. So we can throw our priests at... We're gonna have to throw all these priests away and dig in. Not necessarily all of them. Some could be used as resources for upgrading trading posts. Interesting. Building over here. Yeah, we'll take that. It's 2 power is just 1 coin to us, but every coin is a big deal this round. These are 5 resources a pop to upgrade, and currently we're looking at 7, 8, 9, 10. Maybe that's actually rationale for not doing it. If we accept this, we could maybe upgrade 1 more by using priests as coins. That's a very shaky proposition. No, I think we're gonna see a build over here still this round. So that's pretty good reason to that'll be free power for us at that point. So yeah, let's go ahead and take it. Okay, Fakir's finally grabbed this space. A little slow to the punch there. Still don't have their upgraded carpet flight range. Wishing now that I'd not built this one up here. I would have rather had it right there, so that I'd have access to both of these in one move. But, oh well. That's a good thing to remember for the future, that if I can anticipate that I am not going to make motions towards a third town or connecting, I just shouldn't build here. I should be more minded in terms of being 1 away from everything. Okay. Let's start those upgrades. This is a good one to begin with because the engineers have to pay so many points if they want to, if they actually want to accept power on that transaction. So if we accept this, we'll be at 5 coins even. Then we can use 2 priests' resources to complete the upgrades. And then we only have to blow 2 priests in the digging process. Which seems pretty reasonable to me. Again, I really would love if I could build 5 dwellings next round. If I make 2 more upgrades, I'm gonna have 1, 2, 3, 4 workers' income. That is 1. Oh no, but I get a bazillion workers from Occult Reward. Okay, so I do just want to be taking coins as much as possible here. So I should take this and then make both of the upgrades. Oof, we didn't get any power on that one, but whatever. It would have been nice to get the 1 free power. Which town was taken? Was that a shipping town? Yeah, okay. So finally they've made their carpet flight range 3, so they can go places, but they lost access to this one because of the engineers. Which means they've also lost access to this one by extension. So we are actually intentionally taking a slightly inefficient round just to set up for a huge last round. So we kind of expect the points to creep up a little closer now. We'll see if the mermaids can do a 3rd town in the last round, but I think it's impossible. Like, they could do it up here, using this as their neighbor. But they can't take a fire 2 favor, those don't exist anymore. Okay, worker town. Sure. It's actually pretty limited in what town tiles anyone can pick. Engineer's gonna build here soon, so I don't want to upgrade this site, because I want to receive power for free when they do it without paying points. Let's go ahead and upgrade this one. I don't think we're taking much power in through here. Let's see, Fakir's having the 3 carpet flight means they are now officially connected also. Mermaids connected too. So everyone is connected, good for them. Well, not engineers. Engineers still have to build on this site, and then their connection is... No, that's not correct. They'll need to build that site and upgrade shipping once to be connected. So it's nice that they have some resources earmarked for that, but engineers look so far down to me that it doesn't seem like it much matters. Things that I need to do. In order to actually be equipped to pass, I need to be able to take my 4 priests. So I need to start blowing those wildly. I Like, here seems like a reasonable place to dump 3, and then I can dump 1 there. I guess I want to use 1 as a worker. And ideally would want to receive 2 power to make the extra trading post. It's not a big deal if I don't. So I guess to that end, I should dig this hex first. And then I can consider where else to dig based on what I receive. It really works out for us no matter what, I think. Okay, workers for engineers. They're presumably going to be building these hexes. Well, maybe not. I guess they don't really need to do it this round. So who can say? What I know for sure is I want more money income. Always wanting more money income because I'm playing the Darklings, and that is just the way of it. Other people running out of actions now, so we're presumably going to see these things go very quickly. I maybe could consider a premature pass if I've dropped enough priests to be able to take the income. But I can't build all the dwellings in the last round, regardless, if I don't get to if I don't get the trading posts up just to get enough money. Mermaid's presumably gonna snap up that shipping scoring. Yeah, okay. So I guess it's between engineers and I to see on this. Who grabs this one? I think, even though this locks me out of getting the extra trading post, it seems okay. Just to dump them all, so that I know I can take the darn income. Actually, instead of dumping them all there, I should just do it here. That will certainly annoy the engineers quite a lot more. I mean, not that we particularly needed to annoy them more, but, you know, why not? They can't realistically terraform that back. It will be a triple for them, and we really have no purpose in doing much of anything other than to dump priests. Yeah, okay, let's go ahead. Gotta get in someone's way. Now, engineers, a lot of actions they could consider here. Oh, interesting. Well, that means we actually would have gone and received the power requisite to build the last trading post, except that we can't anyhow. So at this point, since we can't anyhow, it may well not be worth it to take this. I think... Yeah, I think it's very reasonable to just go ahead and climb here. Don't really know how power is going to work out. Other than, you know, we're taking this 2 income, but we're probably not really receiving any more power for the remainder of game. After, Because I can't imagine they'll want to do anything next to us in any of these places. So money-wise, we're going to take 7 income. Yeah, it's probably for the best to decline here. Alright, and then we'll go ahead and pass. And make sure we get paid some points at game's end, hopefully like 6 or something. Oof, engineers just making sure they win this call. I'm a little bit miffed that they... I guess they were priest capped. So I guess it makes sense they walked it in one at a time rather than locking a priest in. Okay. More power to them. That gives us some potential room to try and beat the fakirs on this cult if we really want to. We can, of course, play with a priest to make sure we win on Earth also. Not shocking, the money power action went first. Let's plan out what we do here. So, we have way more workers compared to coins, so we can just count total coin worker resources for this. So if I want to build 5 dwellings and a trading post, that is 15 resources for the dwellings, and then 5 more for the trading post. That is 20. So 20 is actually what we're sitting on right here. This is 10, 7, and then 3 coins out of this power barrel. So, I mean, that's our round. Only question is what we want to do with the priests. And of course, the answer on that is either dig for 2 points or use them on cults. Either or. Our primary competitor in this looks to be the mermaids. They've also set up to have a lot of dwellings they can construct on the final round. And may actually be founding a town, and they're ahead points. So we're probably not that interested in fighting with fakirs on this. It's just an inefficient use of priests for points as compared with digging, digging for 2 points. So that sort of tells us how we're going to use all our priests then. Alright, let's start building these hexes that we've laid out for ourselves. Just in case, before anyone could get it in their heads to take them away from us. I guess mermaids with 3 shipping can actually reach around here, but they don't have the power to do that and do this. Yeah, I'll do this one first. Why not? Engineers actually maybe had a 3rd town in the works down here. It could have happened. It would have been a little tricky, right? They had these 3 hex... I guess they don't have any bridges available, so they were... So in the end, we did not take away a town. All we took away from them was a hex. But whatever, we'll do it. Dig goes to engineers, and they finally took this spot. Sure. Engineers have, mermaids have so many dwellings they can build. They set up very similarly to us. They can build all 5 of these places. And they have the dwellings. Or, yeah, the dwellings still on their board, and they have the resources. And of course they're going to beat us on network, because everyone's going to beat us on network, because we made no efforts to connect. So it's just going to be a big question of who can make more points out of this round, and then also who's taken more on the cults. So we have to get pretty far up on them to compensate the loss of network. The hope would be that fakirs or engineers could do some things to fight the mermaids on network score, but I don't think they actually can. It seems like mermaids are just a lock for first place on network. Now we can take this one away before mermaids, like, theoretically they could get some crazy idea to dig it. I don't know why they would. It would be a terrible play on their part. But there, now it's done. Now we have exclusive access to all the spots we need. And, you know, it's kind of a shame. We would probably beat the mermaids on network if we were connected, but obviously we're not, and do not mean to. Okay, here's the 3 priests. Probably all of those are being used for carpet flights. They have a lot of places they can carpet fly to. What about engineers? So have they made their needed shipping upgrade for connection's sake? They have not. So that sort of gives them 1 free priest to work with that they could chuck anywhere on these slots. Clearly it won't be going towards fire or water. I don't think they would want to use it in air. So they may actually take this and come up and tie us. And then they have this water 2 favor. So they can pass us. And I don't really... It's probably for the... We probably have to throw a priest at winning this cult. This is basically why I'm running this math right now. Because if we don't, then engineers will pass us, or at least make us take 2 priests to defeat them. Because they don't have incentive to move anywhere else. So we'll just go ahead and lock this down. Yep, okay. Nice to be in this power configuration where any power we get is free power. I mean, we don't really have anything to do with the resources at end of game that, like, other than use them for final scoring. But it's nice to have it under wraps like this. Okay, carpet flight there. Where else are you gonna carpet fly, fakirs? Reveal your secrets. Presumably a lot of places. It's worth so many more points to them to carpet fly than to use priests on cults. So we can just keep building dwellings. I guess we can upgrade the trading post first if we really want to. Because either way, we're looking at, we have 15 resources here, and it's 6 and 5. Oh wait, this is... Can we upgrade another trading post? Yeah, maybe. Well, that's exciting. trading post upgrades are, of course, worth 5 points when you have this bonus tile and this favor. So that's, given that we're on the do nothing except make points strategy, that's something to be happy about. Oh, it's because I forgot to count a dwelling construction. Silly me. Okay. So yeah, we're just build 3 dwellings here with our 10 resources. Yeah. Okay, another carpet flight by Fakirs. And they have one more priest. Probably they're going to carpet fly here unless they want to come up there. They should choose this one in preference to that because it doesn't actually matter to them. And if they come up here, then they give the mermaids a neighbor sort of without purpose that lets them found this town. Yep, okay. What do we want to do? We want to start building these darn things. It seems likely to me that we're taking second place here. I would be a little bit surprised if we managed to defeat the mermaids, given that they're also going to win connection. Oh, they upgrade straight to 5 shipping. Oh, but they do this in preference to building more dwellings. So they'll pass for 15 points, and then they also have 18 points on top of that for winning network? Or maybe they don't now. Fakirs have defeated them on network size. And that's actually really helpful to us. Thank you, Fakirs. So I think the mermaids made a big mistake by not just building the most dwellings they could. It's worth... Oh, I guess it's only worth 2 points to them plus the network boost because they don't have an Earth 1 favor. Alright, let's go ahead and build this dwelling. We have so many dwellings to build. So many. Even still, I don't know if we defeat mermaids. This 122 is so far ahead of us. It's, should come out to... Yeah, okay. I guess that means they're up 25 points on us at present. And then also some for network, and they're not getting 0 in the cults, though they're getting pretty close. So one thing that we do see here is since fakirs, they did all their carpet flights and they did choose this one correctly, rather than giving mermaids a neighbor for the last town. So now fakirs are out of priests and they have no way to procure any more. They don't have the power for it, and even if they did, they would need a lot of power with this action gone. So can they move at all on cult tracks? I guess if they really want to, they have the power. Yes, they do. All of the 3-rank favors are still available, so if they wanted to use their ending resources to upgrade a temple, they could pass someone on a cult, and they seem to have missed that play. Because it is actually worth it to them to, like, pass engineers or something, or... Yeah. I mean, it's a 4-point swing to them to do that. I guess engineers will come up and tie them. So it only makes it a 3-point swing against engineers. But they don't care about swing relative to engineers, they care about the swing relative to us, since we're the one they're scrapping it out with for second place. Alright, so we're gonna have to convert like so to build on this space. Is this... yeah, this is right. Well, we can... since fakirs are passed, we know they're not advancing at all, we may as well take this. It's worth 2 points to us. Same as the engine as digging with a priest, but it's also minus points for fakirs. So this is definitely the winning spot. We can do that first because it also makes some power for us that we could conceivably use. Oh. Whoops, I appear to have locked in those conversions. Whoops. It doesn't particularly matter since we, these were all just resources for end of game scoring regardless. So, I have the power to build a dwelling for 4 points, or to upgrade a trading post. And upgrading a trading post is actually worth 5, as opposed to building the dwelling, which is only worth 4. So I think to that end, it's correct to upgrade a trading post instead. We do like, whoops, like this. This is just 1 more point, is that right? It may not actually be 1 more point, because we may have been, we clear the conversions. If I build a dwelling, I still retain a worker and a coin, actually. So it's actually not quite enough to make an end of game resource point. So this is the better line. We'll go ahead and make a trading post for 5. Where can I put that to offer? Here, I guess. Is the least useful trade to anybody. Then I can go ahead and pass up to 108 and just, well, no, I don't have to pass. Obviously, I'm going to use priest to build first, or to dig in random locations. Like this one. So we turn this, yeah, just digging, there's... Well, I suppose I can go plus up 1 point for me and minus 1 for mermaids if I want to pass them here. But that's relative to mermaids, that's the same as me using a priest to dig for 2. So there's no purpose in doing that. This is just worth a better point differential versus the fakirs, who are not irrelevant here. And now is when we take that pass for the juicy 8 points. Only 10 down on mermaids, but I don't know that we can actually make that up. I suppose we're about to find out. Let's see, we take 4 and 4 and 8 points on them through cults. So that's plus 16 on cults, and then, yeah, okay, so mermaids have got this one. Well, a bit of a shame that. Oh, engineers won that. Fakirs took 2nd. Oh my goodness, and mermaids. Oh, wow. Okay, that's closer than I realized. I thought they were taking 12 for network. Well, that certainly makes this tight. Nice that we didn't lose to anyone, but of course BGA's tie calculation is completely borked, so we actually did lose points to one person, even though we shouldn't. This is, oh well. Plus yellow, and we're heading towards that coveted 500 goal. I did title this a D-Rust stream, just because I missed a week of streaming to being hospitalized. But it's glad that we didn't do too terribly. And we can head back on up to that 500 goal. Even if BGA has reset the fake league number, it still retained MMRs for everybody. So we can still make it to that 500 goal. And we're actually pretty close now. So yay for that. Thanks everyone who watched. If you want to check it out again, there's my next stream is going to be Saturday for realsies this time, unless I'm back in the hospital. You can scroll down under the stream to check the time. So thanks for watching. Follow if you want to see more Terra Mystica content, and good night.